All right, fabulous. So again, my name is Kim Ware. You all can call me Kim, and I'm your instructor for this next 8 weeks of interpersonal communication. It's going to be so fun. You're going to love it, I promise. So what is the outlook of the course? What are we doing? What can you expect? So for the first half of the course, weeks 1 through 4, we're going to work on building a foundation for the study of interpersonal communication. Interpersonal communication is the study of messaging between two people. So you have intrapersonal communication, which is communication with yourself. Then you have interpersonal, which is a dyad. And once you move beyond the dyad into 3 or more, you're working on small group communication. When we're looking at interpersonal communication, the first thing you have to do before you can really understand how to interact with other people is to understand yourself and gain a foundation for your self-concept, the way that you communicate, your worldview, and start to look at some of the theory that backs that up. So theory is kind of a dirty word. People don't really like the study of theory, but I love it. And here's why. Because when you know some really good theory, it helps you to explain what's happening in your life and the way you're communicating, and it helps you predict communication. So we're going to understand ourselves. We're going to look at some theoretical applications. Then we're going to get into the good stuff in the second half of the course. We're going to look at conflict. We're going to look at the dark side of relationships. We're going to explore communication in friendships and communication in family. So there's lots of great applications I hope you can see in the professional and the personal when it comes to communication. Any questions about that before I go to the next slide?
No.
Good. So what are the assignment expectations? One thing I like to do, because it saves you time and it saves me time, is to ask you to ask questions before you submit an assignment. So one of the unique things about working in an online institution is that, like, we all work from Monday to Friday, and then most of you are doing your schoolwork on Saturday and Sunday. I try to work all the way up to Saturday afternoon and try to pick Sunday to be a day off. So if you decide to work on your assignment on Sunday, it's due on Sunday, totally fine. You can text me and I can help out if needed, but I would rather you submit the assignment late and get your question answered than pretend that you know what you're doing when you really don't. Because what happens is you spend all this time spinning your wheels, you submit something, then I spend time trying to figure out how you got to where you are, and then I write you feedback or I contact you, and then you have to submit it again. So let's just cut out the middleman and let's save time for both of us and just ask questions before you submit. If it means that you're 24 hours late or so, that's not a big deal because I know that you're going to be late and I can work with you, okay? Now, writing the best that you can. Not everyone has had English yet. I mean, like, we're all talking English, but not everyone has had the class English in Bryan University. So if you haven't been over that course and done that review of everything you learned through high school, which could be very little because frankly, I don't remember hardly anything that I learned in high school English, especially 8th grade. We were supposed to learn a lot, and I don't remember anything. I remember the teacher's name, and that's about it. I remember writing love notes, and that's about it. So just write the best that you can. In general, make sure you restate the question. So if the question is, how can you write the best that you can? You would say, I can write the best that I can by, and then elaborate. So that is a great starting place for writing the best that you can. Second, I encourage you to take notes while you're doing your Learn-Its. It makes it a lot faster for you. This course is a little bit longer than some of your other courses, I believe, in the amount of time you have to go back over the Learn-It before you achieve the set level. So if you're taking notes while you're doing that, it can make it a lot faster because you've written the answers down, and then when you go to fill in the blanks, you can look at the answers. it also creates a great brain connection between the seeing, the doing, and the writing to help forge those pathways. So I encourage you to do that. If that doesn't make sense to you, I'm going to post a video a little bit later on, if I haven't already, with one technique for writing late notes. I've already covered a little bit of the late policy, but just so you know, I prefer to have you done with weeks 1 through 3 by the end of week 4. So if you fall behind, please complete weeks 1 through 3 by the end of week 4. Otherwise, you're going to be ineligible to submit. The same thing holds true for weeks 4 through 7. Please complete all those assignments by the end of week 8. Cannot extend past Wednesday of week 8. And then it's the same in the syllabus. So if you don't get this all written down, that's fine. But in the syllabus, it states 10%, 20%, 30% deduction from the maximum grade. So let's say you turned in a paper that was worth 100 points, you earned an 80, and you were a day late. I'm going to take another 10 points off that 80 points earned for a 70%. Now, I say all of that to scare you because I want you to turn your assignments in on time. And if you don't turn your assignments in on time, just communicate with me. Let me know, hey, I am running a little late. Or even, I procrastinated. I totally dropped the ball. Can I turn it in tomorrow? And I'm going to say, sure. And then I'm going to go to the comments in that assignment for you. And I'm going to say, for conversation with Sally, assignment is going to be turned in by Tuesday, end of day. Okay? So, and you know, there's different lines of thought on whether or not to do point deductions or not. My biggest thing is I want you to learn to communicate. If you're in a communication class, the best place to start is to let them know if you're going to be late. And second, I want you to learn. I want you to learn, and I want you to apply the material. And if you can't pass an assignment because you've got so many late points, well, that doesn't really help anybody learn anything. Now, does it? So those are my thoughts on that. Any questions?
No.
Okay, good. Response time, I mentioned it a little bit. I generally am pretty good about responding to your text messages and to your Canvas messages. Give me about 24 hours, and then I try to take Sundays off. If you message me on Sunday afternoon, please don't hold my feet to the fire about getting back to you until Monday sometime. Also, I am a homeschool mom, so if you saw my casual introduction, I have 4 kids, and I love them, and I homeschool them. I mean, everybody loves their kids, right? But I teach them until about 2 or 3, and then I work in the late afternoon and the evenings. Now, Yellow Dig. All right, who loves Yellow Dig? Can you hear a pin drop?
Not me.
Okay, so why Yellow Dig? Everybody loves to hate it, okay? So Yellow Dig is a great way to build community. Without Yellow Dig, you're kind of an island doing this coursework on your own. So Yellow Dig is a great tool to help you talk about what's going on in your classes and what you're studying, and also help you network with other people that you're going to see in other classes. You're forging some great relationships. Even if you are in different parts of the country, you have no idea how those relationships are going to come back to you at some point or another. So, for example, in our family, my husband worked with a guy, and he works virtually and never really did FaceTime with the guy, worked with him. That relationship sort of fizzled for about 5 years, and my husband got laid off, and it was to the point where it was like, I'm not really sure how we're going to pay the mortgage. So he reached out to this guy after not talking, but doing that networking through virtual communication, and here we are in Denver. So that bridge was built. So I encourage you to use Yellow Dig for the purpose of building community, if nothing else. Now, grading for Yellow Dig, you're going to see grades posted in week 4 for weeks 1 through 4, and grades posted at the end of week 8 through week 4. No, I'm sorry. 4, 5 through 8, you can earn a max of 200 points. Each week, you could earn a max of 35 points. So you can build in a nice little nest egg for yourself each week if you hit those max points. So that, say we get into week 6 and something happens and you just can't be online to do it, then you've got that little nest egg built up, so those points will continue to apply. You need to focus on earning as many points as possible. Now, here's a unique thing that I do that I don't know a whole lot of other instructors that do, is an incentive to help you build conversation. So if you, let me get out, if you post, okay, here's, can you see that? It's a square, it's your post, okay? So you're gonna get a badge every time that you post, okay? Then someone comments to you, and then you are the next square and you comment to them, someone comments to you and you comment to them. Every time you keep the conversation going on your own post, can you see that? Can you see it? Every time you keep the conversation going on your own post, I'm going to give you a badge. So you're going to get credit for the post, which is 5 points. Then you're going to get a badge for the post, which is another 5 points. And then on this particular one, you responded twice. That's 2 more badges. So that's 20 points, 5, 10, 15, 20, that you've earned on just one post. And those 20 points, except for the 5 for your original post, are going to go on top of the 35 points that you've already earned for the week. Isn't that awesome? I think so, because
Yes, ma'am.
yes, because it keeps the conversation going and you get credit for it.
So will it be like that if you comment on somebody else's post?
No. So let's say you comment on someone else's post, they respond back to you, and then I see that you've posted again, I'm going to give you another badge. Anytime you keep the conversation going, I'm going to give you a badge. Now, it can't be like, that's awesome post. That's not enough. Okay, I need some real legit conversation going on. And we'll talk about concepts and we'll talk about fun stuff too. Okay, so don't feel like you have to have your textbook open every time you come to the Yellow Day post. We just need a classroom. That's what we need. Okay. All right, so that is our course in less than 17 minutes. That's what we have going on. It's going to be fun. I have had nothing but positive feedback about this course. People really like it. And if at first you don't see the application, as you start reading things and you start developing language to explain things that you're doing in your everyday life, you're going to see the value in it. Does anyone have any questions before I let you go to dinner or dessert or whatever else? Parent-teacher conferences?
No, ma'am, it's pretty straightforward.
Nope, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Yep, I'm good. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much and have a good evening and I'll see you in the course.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Mhm.